Listen. Before we even start, I want you to imagine something. You're standing in the darkest place you could possibly imagine. No city lights, no noise, just silence. Above you is an ocean of stars stretching endlessly in every direction. Now imagine that somewhere in that darkness, billions of miles away, there's a tiny, frozen world drifting alone. A world so mysterious that scientists argued about it for decades. A world that humanity once proudly called a planet, and then suddenly kicked out of the planetary family. Yeah, I'm talking about Pluto. But here's the crazy part. Pluto wasn't discovered because someone actually saw it. No. Pluto was discovered because of a mistake. A tiny mathematical mistake that sent astronomers on a 100-year cosmic treasure hunt. And when they finally found the target they were looking for, it wasn't the giant monster planet they expected. It was just a tiny traveler, quietly drifting at the edge of our solar system. And yet, that little traveler ended up changing everything we thought we knew about our cosmic neighborhood. Tonight, we're diving deep into one of the strangest stories in the history of space science. A story filled with obsession, mystery, unexpected twists, and one of the biggest scientific debates the world has ever seen. Because this isn't just the story of Pluto. It's a story of how humans search for answers in the universe, and sometimes discover things they never expected. So, buckle up, because this journey is going to take us billions of miles from Earth, to the coldest frontier of our solar system. And trust me, the deeper we go, the stranger things get. Welcome back. Alright, let's rewind the clock for a second. Way back, before Pluto, before Neptune, before most of the solar system had even been mapped. It was the year 1781. An English astronomer named William Herschel pointed his telescope at the night sky and noticed something unusual. At first, he thought he had spotted a comet, but after observing it for a while, he realized something mind-blowing. This wasn't a comet. It was a planet. Humanity had just discovered Uranus, and just like that, the solar system suddenly became bigger than anyone had ever imagined. At the time, it felt like we had just opened a new chapter in humanity's relationship with the universe. But then, something weird started happening. Astronomers began tracking Uranus's orbit around the sun. And the numbers didn't add up. According to Newton's laws of gravity, Uranus should have followed a very predictable path around the sun, but it didn't. Sometimes it moved a little faster, sometimes a little slower. Sometimes it drifted slightly off course. At first, scientists thought maybe they made calculation errors, but the more they studied it, the stranger it became. Something, somewhere, was pulling Uranus away from its expected path. And that meant only one thing. Another planet had to be out there, a hidden planet. An invisible cosmic predator, tugging on Uranus from the darkness beyond. Now, imagine being an astronomer in the 1800s. No modern computers, no space probes. Just math, telescopes, and a whole lot of patience. Two mathematicians, John Couch Adams in England and Urbain Le Verrier in France. Two solved the mystery. Using only mathematics, they calculated where this hidden planet should be. And when astronomers pointed their telescopes at that exact location in the sky, boom, they found Neptune, right where the math predicted it would be. It was one of the greatest victories in scientific history. Humanity had discovered an entire planet using pure mathematics. But here's the twist nobody expected. Even after Neptune was discovered, Uranus was still acting weird. Yeah, the orbit still wasn't perfect. That meant something else might still be out there. Something even farther away. Something bigger. And astronomers gave this mysterious object a name that sounded like it came straight out of a sci-fi movie. Planet X for decades. Planet X became one of the biggest obsessions in astronomy. Scientists around the world began scanning the sky, searching for this invisible giant. Most of them found nothing, but one man refused to give up. His name was Percival Lowell, and if you've never heard of him before, trust me, this guy was obsessed. Lowell was a wealthy American astronomer who believed with absolute certainty that Planet X existed. He believed it was hiding somewhere beyond Neptune, pulling on the outer planets like an invisible puppet master. So in the early 1900s, Lowell built an observatory in the Arizona desert, a place now known as the Lowell Observatory. Night after night, year after year, Lowell and his team scanned the sky, thousands of photographs, millions of stars. But Planet X remained hidden. Then tragedy struck. In 1916, Percival Lowell passed away, and he never found the planet he spent his life searching for. For many people, that should have been the end of the story, but fate had other plans. Because 13 years later, a young man would walk into that same observatory and unknowingly change history. His name was Clyde Tombaugh, and he was only 23 years old. Now, here's where the story gets wild. Tombaugh didn't have fancy equipment or modern technology. His job was brutally simple and incredibly exhausting. He took photographs of the same section of the sky, again and again and again. Then he placed two photos side by side and compared them using a device called a blink comparator. If a star stayed in the same spot, it was just a star. But if a tiny dot moved even slightly between the images, that meant it could be a planet. Day after day, night after night, thousands of stars. Nothing. Until one day, February 18th, 1930. Tombaugh noticed something, a tiny speck of light, barely visible, but it had moved slightly between two photos taken weeks apart. His heart started racing. Could this be it? Could this be Planet X? After careful verification, the discovery was confirmed. Humanity had discovered a brand new world. And suddenly, the entire planet was talking about it. Newspapers exploded with headlines. Scientists celebrated. The mysterious Planet X had finally been found. But now came the big question. What should they call it? Hundreds of name suggestions flooded in from around the world. But the name that won came from someone nobody expected, an 11-year-old girl in England. Her name was Venetia Burney. She suggested the name Pluto, the Roman god of the underworld. A dark, distant, mysterious world. The name was perfect. And just like that, Pluto officially became the 9th planet of our solar system. Or at least, that's what everyone thought. Because decades later,